Today I have a really awesome speaker to introduce to you, Dr. Ashley Ochsner. And the very first time I talked to Dr. Ashley, I was really struck by how warm and genuine he is. He's just one of those people that really shows up and comes from a place of service. How can I be of service to you? How can I help you? And he shows up in that way for you today by really teaching you how to get into your community and become the sought-after speaker in your community on all things health. And he's going to share with you his proven strategies for how to do that and position yourself as an expert so that people will actually seek you out and also want to book you for their special events. So I'm really hoping that you're listening in today and you're going to get such great gems from Dr. Ashley. Enjoy.
Thank you for that introduction. I'm so honored to be a part of the summit. I hope that what I share today is going to make a big difference. I want to tell you a story as I get started with my opening here. I remember way back, I decided that I was going to start making an impact and doing outside talks. So what I did was I hired a outside service where what they did was they provided me outside talks. They set them up. I would show up, do the talk, and attempt to get new patients or new prospects from that. Well, I was a little leery, never done it, so I think I gave them about $1,500. They then, within about 2 weeks, I had my first talk scheduled, got the facts over. It showed how many people were going to be there. I mean, there was going to be like 30. I knew their insurance coverage. I knew the decision maker's name, all this stuff. I thought this was incredible. This was like too good to be true. So nonetheless, long story short, I walked into that talk having never met the decision maker to start with, never talked with her because the service handles the whole setup, promotion, food ordering, everything. I just picked up the sandwiches and showed up. So I walk into the nursing home, by the way. Yes, I was in a nursing home, not talking to the people who lived there, but I was talking to the staff. So I walk in with my box of Subway sandwiches. And I'll never forget it. I walked up to the receptionist, and she says to me, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know Subway delivered." And at that moment, let me show you this next slide. I realized I should not have worn a green polo because right there, my identity was I'm a Subway sandwich delivery boy. My credibility in my own mind went completely through the tank. I absolutely had to recover and figure out how I was going to salvage this whole situation. So I walk in the room after I was directed to where to go for the talk, and I'm setting out all the sandwiches, trying to delete that I'm not the Subway sandwich boy here with sandwiches for people. And people started coming in. For whatever reason, I went to this one solo. I didn't have staff. So I'm here playing sandwich delivery guy, but yet I'm going to deliver the most powerful information to transform people's lives and their health. And I thought to myself, something isn't going to work out here. So I had a big job to do when I did that talk to try to connect, build rapport, credibility, and then for attempt to close people, see if we could even get them into the clinic or follow up with having them opt in on an email. Crash and burn. That's all I can tell you. So that was an extremely painful lesson. And here's what happened afterwards. My chiropractic mentors meant well, and they would tell me things like, if one person heard what you said and you made an impact to one, it was worth it. So I'm like, yeah, you're right. Yes, yes. Or they say stuff like, you got to scream louder from the mountaintop, right? You got to yell louder. So yeah, okay, next time I'll speak louder, right? And all this stuff. And what I realized was I was missing some key things. And today I want to give you guys the 3 things, okay? I'm going to give you the 3 keys in setting up and doing more outside talks to spread your message of health and healing and make you the literally the sought after leader in your community when it comes to natural health and being a speaker there. So let me show you this slide. You guys might know who that is up there. That's Steve Jobs on the left and John Scully on the right. When Steve was interviewing John Scully was the CEO of Pepsi. So imagine this type of conversation. We got dynamic, innovative Steve Jobs, right? Just has his Mac company starting to take off a little bit. And you've got John Scully, who's running Pepsi. Jobs wanted Scully. So the story goes like this. When he closed Scully, he said, "Do you just want to sell sugar water the rest of your life, or do you want to come change the world?" That was his closing line. And John Scully signed, became the CEO of Mac right there. And that company has obviously grown. I'm doing this and speaking through my iPhone right now. A big change since that computer on the screen. So here's the idea. As chiropractors, we can either be sandwich salesmen, right? Sugar water salesmen, or we can go change the world. And our unique message of health and healing, as you guys know, deserves an audience that views us as credible, right? As someone that's professional, someone who can build a relationship, communicate, all these good things. And that's what I hope to share with you today. Okay. So when I was in practice, my story goes like this. My first talk, 5 people were there. It was in my clinic, 2 existing patients, nervous, sweating bullets, hated it. But what came out of that was a talk to 40 moms at a church group that generated 90 new patients. Patients who came in wanting what I had, understanding where I was coming from. They were quote unquote pre-qualified. And I knew that was a huge avenue as far as marketing to my practice. Now, I don't just do talks. I also do many other avenues, and I encourage everybody to have multiple baskets when we talk about this. But the idea was, I was onto something. I thought this is huge. So started doing more and more talks. So I went from a guy who was really cranking out a lot of screenings, burning out my staff. I mean, they were working 5 days a week in the clinic, and then I'd take them out for 8, 16, 24 hours on a weekend doing big screenings once, twice a month. It was just killing them. So I then decided, wait a minute. I did that talk in an hour over my lunch, took one staff with me, cost me nothing because I didn't even bring lunch to that one. And I had 90 new patients, but yet we stood in the mall or at the home show or at the bridal expo or whatever for 16, 20, 24 hours over the weekend, hated it, and got a much less qualified new prospect. I want to grow myself into a master at outside talks. So that's what I began to do. And not just doing the talk, but I'm talking about getting the gig. And that's what we're going through today. Okay. So now we're loving life. Myself, my 2 partners, Dr. Kevin Schultz. I got Dr. Jason Weiss, some of his stats on the screen here. In 2016 alone, I had 25 total events. It was nuts. And we had 175 new patients, and that generated $350,000 just from that. Dr. Weiss in 2017, he's generated 15 talks already. He's been at 2 health fairs, and he's got 8 talks and 2 corporate health fairs coming up. That's freedom. You can have that too. All of us can. Just got to do what's right and understand it. And that's the big idea. Here was the takeaway for me that got us to this level. I realized something when I was talking to my mentor, Roberto Monaco, and he taught me this. It's not about public speaking. It's about public leading. And people need leadership in their health more than ever, don't they? Wherever they're at, whatever group they're in, whatever company they're with, club, organization, wherever they're at, they and their people and their friends need leadership in health more than ever today. And you and I, the chiropractors, are positioned, or can be, should be, must be positioned to be that leader. I'm going to help you with that today. So as we get rocking here, let me bring you through something very important when we get to our first point here. I want to talk to you about identity. All right, your identity is gigantic when we talk about you as a credible speaker, okay? How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself less than? Are you just a chiropractor, right? Do you see this hierarchy of importance in professionals? Or do you know, without a shadow of a doubt, you are the rock star? That's where you need to be. That's where you need to get if you're not there. Just like that kitten looking in the mirror, seeing the lion. All right, that has to be you. How can you do that? Here's one step. Separate your face from your place. The church world does this all the time. You're looking at Elevation Church in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's their place, the church, the facility. All right, you see the team, all the pastors. They're all there administering their care, right? Just like your clinic. But then guess what? Pastor Furtick has his own website where it's Stephen Furtick Ministries. He's got his own book, his own TV show on that channel. All these things based around his face. So separate your face from your place. You can do that very simply with a Facebook page dedicated to you as a speaker. You can elevate that to a website that's dedicated to you and positioning you as a speaker, because there's one thing you need to have when you look at this, and that is the pole position. In Formula One racing, I don't know if you knew this, but 40% of the time, 40, the person with the pole position wins the race. So having that positioning is key. Position yourself as, number one, a speaker, not a clinic or a doctor who's trying to drum up business. You follow me? You are a credible speaker on natural health. That's what you're going to set up through a Facebook page that's dedicated to you as a public figure, as a speaker. You're going to set up a website of you who is a speaker, have your offerings, your programs. Critical, because here's the bottom line. You know this guy, Warren Buffett, he's positioned as the expert, the man, woman, all of the above, right? He is the master of finances. When he talks, people listen this day and age. Now, here's the thing. That didn't happen overnight. He established that, but you can do the same and you can do it credibly. All right, and that's our next topic I want to talk about, okay? Ironically, we're going to step right into this. Credibility, all right? Here's the deal. Many people feel like because we have this less than thing as chiropractors or natural health providers who aren't in the traditional model, sometimes we feel like we need experience, affiliation, certifications, all this stuff to be credible. It's simply not true, especially in today's world. There are guys and girls out there giving very credible information who have no degree, much less even a doctorate degree. Okay, so delete that from your brain. It's a new world. Academia is no longer as esteemed and valued. You're going to see that when I show you a couple studies here in a minute when we look at influence. So do it right. Don't make it up. Okay? I'm going to show you how you can do this the right way. So this guy here, Robert Cialdini, wrote the book, The Psychology of Persuasion, the book Influence. Now, in that book, a couple things that were discovered. There's two laws I want to talk about that he discloses in this book. One is the law of authority. The other is the law of consensus. So check this out. When we look at the law of authority, very simple. Back to that Facebook page I told you to set up. Look, there you are in front of a group, expressing the importance of it. They're laughing, they're enjoying it. You're sharing information. You're positioning yourself as an authority. When people see an authority figure, they want to follow them. So you've got to set it up and show your authority. Got it? Social proof next. Otherwise known as consensus. So with consensus, when others you know and trust are recommending something or doing something, participate in something, you're more likely to do so. This study shows it. An online recommendation, look at this. A YouTube review, 46.5% of the time is viewed as a quote-unquote online recommendation. People will follow that. A friend liking a brand page on Facebook, whoa, I'm really going to buy. I'm really going to follow through. So this social proof thing is gigantic. So leveraging social media, showing your credibility and your track record, get started with that. You've got to show the track record. Okay, show the history. Important facts. The other thing is your professional outlook and bio. We recommend a website. So create a website. We build websites for natural health speakers, and there's your bio where it's going to show your credentials, places you've spoke at, all these supporting facts, figure, all the stuff, right? Whatever it is that's happened, you're there, credible. We've leveraged authority. We leverage social proof, all these things so that then that decision maker is going to say yes. Very, very important. And then last, I want to talk about what's your product, because on the topic of credibility, are you just coming in as Dr. Jones from the corner, or are you going to deliver something, right? Do you have a product that you're going to deliver to the company, group, or organization? Way different, okay? Way different perception on the other side when you have a product, all right? Here's the idea. We, for instance, branded and built 36 plus talk packages for our clients to use, whether that's in our Go Work division, our Go Teach division, Go Serve division. We've got topics on stress. We've got topics on nutrition, things with creative names. They're branded, high quality images, great content, so that you have a product to deliver. And you can show this portfolio that you can bring to a company, okay? That's way different than Dr. Jones over here. Here's a fruit basket, and I want to come and do a talk so that I can drum up business, right? That's what the perception is on the other side. So you can defeat that, and then you have a much more qualified prospect in the seat that wants to be there for your talk, your content, and your program, not the free sandwich. With me? Critical. All right. So by the way, side note, we have been offered and created opportunities to speak at big stages. Procter & Gamble, that's one where we've had an opportunity arise from showing this type of credibility. Dr. Jason Weiss has actually partnered with one of the largest architect firms in the country, the 9th largest in the country, and is doing talks for them. They have over 1,000 employees at the one location. Okay, so when big fish are biting on things like this, that tells you how credible that it is. So making sure that you have a product, not just you. Follow me. Good. And last but not least, we're going to talk about relationships. All right, when we talk relationships, we talk about the 3 Ps, and I want you to understand what I mean by that, okay? There's 3 ways to build a relationship, or have a relationship, maybe not build it. And I have a little fun with this, put a little, make it light. So we talk about the pimp, we talk about the player, and then we talk about the professional. So the pimp version of this is what I shared at the beginning, where you buy the talk lead, you buy the setup, you pay another service to get it for you, kind of like you'd pay a pimp for a prostitute. That never ends in a marriage. It happened one time in a movie, Pretty Woman. It never happens, ever. So don't pimp it out. The outcome when you pimp it out is drastically different the majority of the time. Not all the time, the majority of the time. I'm a big fan of you finding that lead, prospecting it, making the contact and the outreach, building it from the start, taking it through you and or your team. You don't have to do it yourself, but the idea is don't prostitute, or don't pimp it out and pay for the prostitute. Bad idea. Number 2, player. Player's this guy or girl. They show up. They can smooth talk it, sweet talk the gatekeeper at the front desk, right? Maybe bring him a little present or whatever you're trying to do, right? To do that, and then you pitch that you want to do a lunch talk. That is the player. The player in the old days had their black book and they see how many phone numbers they can collect, right? And they don't build a relationship. They just come in, one night stand, no second date almost ever with this approach, and ruins the relationships and even smears your credibility over time, smears the profession's credibility. Absolutely unacceptable in my opinion. I'm a fan of the only way to do it, which we teach, which is the professional, all right? We're about doing it right, doing it the professional way. And what I mean by that is you don't have to dress up like a banker and wear a fancy suit or anything like that. But what you do have to do is absolutely understand how to build rapport, make a connection, go in, get permission to quote unquote hunt and schedule new patients. Absolutely. Go for that. But at the same time, do it in a way that doesn't create animosity, feeling like they were sold, etc., right? Bring value. And then also bring your farming tools, okay, to nurture those people that don't necessarily come in immediately, and you don't just leave them hanging, right? You follow up with resources, with gifts, with handouts, with the ebooks, whatever that might be, so that they can continue then and you can nurture that lead. And then when they want to come in and see you and work with you, they will, because you've maintained that relationship and built it from the start. And then judging your success by your number of second, third, and fourth dates, the same place, right? I'm back for my fourth time at one of the largest, actually the largest community college in Illinois that banned outside chiropractic speakers because somebody screwed it up. I'm back the fourth time. I got 4 dates. How to do that? Exactly the principles I just shared. So important. So communication is key. Let me touch on this one word when we talk communication within relationships. It's called listening. That is communication. There's no other thing. Talking, speaking, making statements, that's not communication. There's questions and there's listening. Question, listening, and then serve. All right, what can I do to serve this? What can I do to serve that purpose they're looking for? What can I do to solve the problem that they have? And you can only get there through questions and active listening. So, quick summary: identity, credibility, and relationships. Those are some of the keys. I hope you got some value in this. I want to bring more value. I got a gift for everybody. We're going to give you, through opting in this summit, an actual PDF. It's hard to see on this slide, but this is going to walk you through our process of prospecting, targeting, contacting, and closing for setting up talks. This is something we teach, charge thousands of dollars for at our boot camps that we do, our Go Get Talk tactical training camps for our clients. We're going to give it to you. I want you to have that for free today. All you have to do is do what you already done. You're here at the summit. It's going to be the gift that I give, okay? Check us out at gogettalks.com. That's our website. I'm always offering and want to offer you a free test drive where you can pop up the hood and look at what we have, because having a website, a promo video, a CRM to manage all your leads, contacts, and marketing materials, talk programs that are branded, credible, and important, having a community to relate to on this stuff and bounce ideas off of, and all those things are huge, and we've packaged that. So if you ever want to pop up the hood, take a look underneath. I'm here for you. We can do that test drive anytime. You can get a hold of me through gogettalks.com, okay? So I hope you found value in this. Check out that free blueprint there, and I wish you guys the best. Have a wonderful day.
So I hope you really enjoyed that presentation. I sure did. And I wanted to jump back on here and just share with you a little bit about the gold membership that we have in place for the participants at the Virtual Marketing Summit. This one is just for you guys. So we have some special perks for you to engage even more with the 12 speakers. So let me tell you a little bit about it. when you enroll in the Gold membership, you receive lifetime access to all 12 presentations, both in MP3 and MP4 format, so that you can even have your team listen to it. If you are implementing a specific marketing strategy that you heard during the presentation this month and you want to revisit it, you have lifetime access for you and your team to study it in detail. And you also get downloadable implementation guides of all 12 presentations that you can utilize to map out how to implement the strategies that we've been talking about this month. And you also receive a special gift, a unique gift from every one of the 12 speakers. They include, like mine is the 5-day Freedom video course, and there's others are ebooks, several ebooks are included. There's a free memberships, 3 months membership to marketing strategy courses, and much, much more. It's incredibly packed filled with valuable, actionable content for you to implement immediately into your practice. So I just moved to Austin, Texas in August. And we were just in the end of the month, like we only been here for 10 days, hit by the Harvey hurricane, which I'm sure you heard about, the devastation that happened here in Texas. And even though Austin, we were not hit hard at all. We had a little bit of flood in our backyard, lost electricity for 4 hours. That was it. Much of the state is into total devastation. And I decided that I want to give the 100% of the proceeds from the Gold membership, from the Virtual Marketing Summit, to the Hurricane Harvey Relief Fund to help those families. Now, the total value of the Gold membership is well over $1,000. But you can enroll in the Gold membership for just $97. And as an extra benefit, you get to contribute to helping the families who have been completely devastated because of Hurricane Harvey here in Texas. To enroll in the Gold membership, just click on the link right below this video and we'll take you directly to the webpage where you can enroll. And you'll receive instant access to all of this valuable information that I told you about.